Then the next question. On walking, whether my understanding is correct, since using the center of attention and watching stepping of feet movement as primary object, the secondary is mind as the subject, that determines the movements. Then interference or distortion are the desires and concerns. This question is not very clear, but in Vipassana meditations, when one practices correctly, then you realize that at each movement that these movements or this what is called object, or the movement of foot is called object. Then the mindfulness or the awareness, or sometimes we call it the noting mind, is the subject. Then so at each movement there are only these two processes. One is the subject, the other is the object. So at that time, meditators cannot identify these two processes, the movements and the noting mind. It cannot identify these two processes as a being, a self, or I, or you. When mindfulness is attentive, energetic, and precise, meditators come to realize the arising of the subject. It depends on the arising of the object. Then when mindfulness becomes stronger, one will come to realize these processes are constantly and instantly arising and passing away, like we can say together. What comes to realize that these two processes are arising and passing away is another awareness or mindfulness. So that mindfulness or awareness that knows the two processes are arising and passing away, that mindfulness is also not permanent, is also subject to arising and passing away. And there are no two awareness or two mind arising at the same time. There are no two awareness or two mental state arising at the same time. That awareness that becomes aware of the object is one process. Then the following awareness that arises and realize that the other two processes are arising and passing away is another mental process. But the mind or the mental state is so fast, so sweet, so fast, so rapid, that it gives the impression that there are two mental states arise or exist at the same time. So sometimes when the concentration is not deep, insight knowledge is not yet penetrative, one may think the other awareness is permanent, always watching the other two processes, that is the object and the subject. So this is only the brief explanations on the experience. When one practices Vipassana meditation correctly, meditators will realize that all the objects can be a mental object or physical process, and the awareness, or in other words the noting mind, are constantly and instantly arising and passing away. So the awareness that comes to realize the arising and passing away of these two processes is another mental process, and is also not permanent or subject to arising and passing away. So every phenomena, whether it's mental or physical, is always arising and passing away.